as to believe. So bold, gung-ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Sky, the ultimate girl power, a fierce warrior to make her enemies cower. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons. Cobra command plots and schemes to rule the world in his dreams. Sartan is never what he seems, and Baroness rocks that black leather outfit. Shoots you quick and slipped off the back of the head. Yo-Cho, Cobra, Logan's here to give his G.I. Joe taste. Oh yeah, Yo-Cho, Cobra off the characters, it's a G.I. Joe thing.
Greetings. This program may contain mature content. From the Hilt cautions. Viewer discretion is advised. This is
Yo-Cho! Code name!
Snowjob, Arctic Survival Specialist.
Full name!
Holland Board.
Grade!
E7, Sergeant First Class U.S. Army.
Birthplace, Rutland, Vermont! Primary specialty, Arctic Ski Patrol! Secondary specialty, rifle instructor, qualified, expert! All NATO long-range sniper rifles! XML or 3A laser rifle! Preferred weapon, any sniper rifle! Let's go! Combat gear! Ski!
Full-team survival pack.
Snowjob was the first Arctic soldier to join the G.I. Joe team. His talents were needed when the battle against Cobra took to the cold climate and snow-covered mountains. He doesn't particularly enjoy the cold, but thrives on what he can do with it. He's an expert marksman, qualified on all NATO long-range rifles and laser targeting systems. Snowjob was a major contender for the Olympic biathlon before his enlistment. He can still ski down steep mountains and pick off a target 1,000 yards away, making it back to base before the end of a poker game. His reputation precedes him not only as a skilled target shooter, but as a major con artist. Snowjob scams are legendary within the barracks, and no one will dare take a bet from him. His teammates steer clear of him around payday. When the G.I. Joe program reorganized, Snowjob returned as a member of the Arctic unit. He won more card games than anyone cares to remember, and he never misses a shot. You can bet on him to be the winner. Personal motto,
Never bet against me.
yeah. From General Hawk's files,
He is a highly qualified individual.
the definite choice pick for the team. His talents with the rifle are as legendary as are his all-night card games. Snowjob is for the Arctic experts that really doesn't like the cold. Very strange since he performs best in that environment. If we miss him, we figure he is in one of two places: out target shooting or out spending the pay. He won off the last poker game he played. Trust him on the battlefield, but never take him up on any sure bets.
Submitted by Lieutenant Cutter. I trust him to run my Arctic ops, but I'd never let him do my taxes.
Submitted by Rock and Roll.
You think we call him Snowjob because he does his job on skis? Negative, he's a con artist. Pure and simple. Except when he picks up his rifle. Sure as heck, something's gonna fall down. artist, pure and simple.
There you are. Now all I gotta do is... What the heck? Oh no! It's another Cobra convergence! It's Cobra again! Greetings, I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer, and today I'm here to talk about Snow Job from the Hilt, Joe Takes 49. We're going to start out like we normally do by looking at the vintage figures. And yeah, if I look a little wrecked, it's because I've been having a rough couple weeks, but I'm doing okay now. I'm putting around, I got everything ready to go. So here's my original Snow Job. I do have his original gun. I do not have his original gear other than his gun, and as you can see, this is one of the prime examples of the white figures yellowing really badly. However, in 2009, I was able to pick up a 2-pack with a modern Snow Job and a vintage Snow Job style, the old ring style, with Polar Battle Bear and a Rock Slide. But I wasn't able to get those out. Like I said, rough week, a couple of weeks actually. But I do have the figure there here to show you a really nice example of what a really good looking Snow Job can be. No white, no yellowing on the white, and the paint applications on this were really good. He does have that original LMXR 3 G.I. Joe standard rifle, and then he has skis in his backpack and ski poles. Now, you can stand him up on the skis. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna be doing that today because, like I said, these vintage figures. This one not so much. I probably could be okay with this one, but I want to get right on to some other things. So we're gonna start with a carded modern Snow Job. I like these modern figures. I know a lot of people don't, but I do have one of these out of the package as well, but I don't normally show the modern figures on Joe Takes unless I don't have much else to show. Yeah, he was originally Staff Sergeant E6, but he got promoted. So, all the original Joes got promoted at one point or another. That'll take us to the classified box, which I actually thought was pretty cool. I do like this artwork for Snow Job, and I'm glad they carried it over to the side. He's number 67 in the series. Now, on the other side, they have kind of like that. And then they have him on the side here like this. And on the back, what they have is him and all his accessories. And so we're going to be taking a look at that. But a couple other things came in this box. One was the Snow Job footlocker, which had his number 67, which it's all good what number he is. I do like this box he came in with the black and white art of the image on the cover and the side, and I like to put them up side by side so you can get a look at them in color and black and white. And if I do this right, there it is. All right. Now, this particular Snow Job came with a lot of extra accessories. It was supposed to be a deluxe figure. I don't think the accessories were worth the extra expense that you pay to get a Snow Job. Now, Maritza was here in the chat. If you're still here, hello, hola. But I just wanted to jump right into talking about Snow Job today because I got a bit to talk about, and then there's a bit coming up on next month that I wanted to chat about too at the end here. But here's the classified Snow Job. He doesn't really want to stay on this particular battle stand all that well. There are a lot of the classified Joes are like that for some reason, but I can get him to stay. But anyway, I'm gonna compare him to the nice vintage one. And as you can see, they did a pretty good job. I mean, he's even got the pockets on the shoulder, but they didn't paint him black. But I don't mind that at all. I think it's better than white. He does have his sidearm, which on the classified, I can pull it out and show it to you here in just a second. But it does has the visor and the goggles and the parka, the hood that covers him to protect him from the snow. Now, like I said, I'll pop this sidearm out and give you a decent look at it. Let me see if I can. There we go. Maybe if I put my hand behind it, there you go. I like this particular sidearm. It's not an M1911A1. It actually looks like a 9mm. But a lot of the newer stuff is switching over to that. Even though the 9mm is a good gun, but I think the M1911A1 was a more, we were talking about this last night, but a more on my Friday show, but a more reliable and higher a caliber of a gun, and so it had more firepower, and it doesn't it has less issues. Let's just put it that way. 9mm, however, are more readily available, and that's how that works. So if you're still around here, Maritza, hola. We got Couching and Slouching with C Bizzle. How you doing, C Bizzle? Hey, Logan. Thanks for joining me. Talking Snow Job today. Here's the classified version. I did want to show some of the variations on the gear. On the original, the skis actually snapped into the backpack like this. On this one, they actually slide into the backpack. I think that's pretty cool. And it's a little peg right there. But then you got your backpack there, and you got your ski poles locked in there too, just like on the vintage. However, there is a spot inside the backpack that you can slide his rifle into. Now, they didn't give you this. He was the first one to ever come with the standard XMLR laser rifle 3, like on the vintage. They didn't include that with this figure. However, they made a smart move. Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, I like Snow Job a lot. He's definitely on in my higher tier of my favorites. Not in my top 10, but he's up there, man. There's so many Joes, so it's hard to pick favorites sometimes. Now, this is the rifle he came with in the classified series. Now, this is a right proper sniper rifle. So there you go. Now, Snow Job, contrary to everybody's retconning of it, with Larry Hama saying Shooter was the original sniper for G.I. Joe. In the action figures, when they came out, Snow Job was your first sniper. They didn't call him that. They called him a marksman, an expert marksman and everything. But they in the file card, it mentions, as you heard at the beginning, that anything that he aims at, he shoots. Sure as heck, something's going to fall, because Snow Job is a sniper. And I'll talk a bit about that when we get into the comics and the character bit here in just a little bit. I did want to show you what the other things he came with, their justification for making him a deluxe figure. He came with Tripwire. Now, that came out around the same time, came with a bunch of extra stuff, and I thought that was worth the deluxe figure price. But these are snowshoes, and they don't stay on his feet very well. I mean, you can get them to stay, but not. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And the other option they gave you to justify that it was a deluxe figure, which they've done with regular figures. I don't know. I think you could exchange the head for an alternate head, which is kind of cool. And you can put the goggles on this too, but I'm not going to do that because it's a pain to get the goggles on this head right here and in place. But here you go. Snow Job with the parka hood down, and it comes with this little the folded back hood accessory that you can have underneath the head, which I thought was pretty cool. That's just me, but I thought they did a really good job with the figure itself. I don't think it was justifiable to make him the price a deluxe figure, but still very cool. The classified figures now are just kind of hitting it out of the park. I'm going to put this, if I can, This, yeah, you got to get it lined up just right. I put the regular head back on him. Now, I do like the classified series a lot, and that's why I started this series originally. Now, we'll have to talk about the character because that's what we do here on Joe Takes. He started in the comics right out of the gate in issue 11. He was right on the cover, right there with the Polar Battle Bear, Doc behind him with the Viper glider of all things, with a Cobra Trooper there underneath. I thought this was a really dynamic cover just for its time, and it still kind of is. I mean, I do like this, but the face on this, they have Snow Job pulling. I know they're trying to avoid getting shot at, but I don't know. I like it. It's kind of cool. But in this storyline, Snow Job didn't really have a lot to do. Doc was kind of the hero, which was cool. But Larry Hama, I don't know. He didn't really do a lot with Snow Job. How many Arctic missions can you do, right? But Snow Job had some cool moments, and I'm glad for that. The actual coolest moment for Snow Job was when Snow Job, Quick Kick, Stalker, and Outback were ordered to go in and get this ambassador out of. Oh, now I'm drawing a blank on the name of the Barovia. That's the name of the fictional country that Larry Hama came up with. And what happened was the mission went bad. They ended up they got their orders got messed up, and the State Department had actually rescued him and exchanged him for somebody else, the guy they were supposed to rescue. So when they got there, they broke in just like they were supposed to, but there was nobody there. He was gone, and so they were on their way out. They got caught trying to escape, and they ended up becoming fugitives in Barovia for a little bit, but they caught right away. But Stalker ordered Outback to get out because Snow Job and Quick Kick were both injured, and so Stalker stayed behind because he was the leader and to look after those two Joes. And he ordered Outback to get the word back to the Joe team. Hello, Sydney Cat. Happy Catter Day, beautiful friends. Thanks for giving us some time and hanging out with us a little bit. I'm talking G.I. Joe today, one of my favorite subjects. But it's good to see you. Thank you for joining me. All right, so in this particular storyline, they ended up going to Gulag and were prisoners for quite a while. And the very next issue, they had a really cool cover, also with Snow Job helping Quick Kick along, because Snow Job wasn't injured as bad as Quick Kick. If Quick Kick hadn't been injured so badly, they probably would have got away. To be honest, I mean, Snow Job could have weathered it, the injury he had, because they patched him up and they put him in prison, and they had a rough time of it in the Gulag. But then they, later on, they were rescued by Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and Scarlet and a whole group of Joes that weren't supposed to rescue them because they were ordered not to, which really, I think was sucked. But things happen, and that's life. But my actual favorite cover with Snow Job was in an issue of Special Missions, and I'm gonna break this one out. Now, again, I'm a little disappointed because it came out in a time period where there was another Arctic Trooper that had come out with the same rank as Snow Job at the time, and they didn't really. Snow Job wasn't in command of this mission, which I thought was odd, seeing how he's the highest ranking snow trooper. If I remember right, they put Frostbite in charge. Let me see here. Got everybody wanting to talk to me right now on my Discord. Sorry if you're hearing all those woohoo. But that's what that is. Yeah, Frostbite was in command, and that's okay because it was his Snowcat. They were in most of the time. We got a Kenneth Bird in the chat. Hello, Kenneth. How you doing today? Let me get this up here. It's good to see you, buddy. I'm talking some Snow Job today, G.I. Joe. And now this mission went really well. It's a special mission. Most of them do, and it was all-out Arctic action. I did like that, and they did feature Snow Job on his skis. But this issue was actually mainly about a character called Blizzard, and it was kind of his debut. and that's really why they went with that. Hello, Cool Gamer. But I am glad they featured Snow Job prominently on the cover. Good day, Kenneth and Cool Gamer. I agree. And I'll show you the one on the back here, but it's got nothing to do with Snow Job because I do have the whole Special Mission series, which is nice. So good artwork, but we're talking Snow Job today. Now, as far as anything else, I don't remember a lot of storylines with Snow Job after that in the original Marvel Comics run. And the Special Mission series only ran 8 issues after that, and it was monthly at the time, so that's only about 8 more months after that, so there's not a lot of opportunities. We have a Berry in the house. Hello, Berry. How you doing? Yeah, I don't think Larry Hama had a lot of opportunities in his storyline to include Snow Job. I know there were a few after that in the IDW series, but I'm not as familiar with that series as I am the Marvel run. Berry be all right. That takes us to the Sunbow cartoon because he was not in the Deke series. He was the only vintage figure he had was the '83 version of Snow Job, and they did not have another one until like 1997 when he came out in a 3-pack, and I did not get that one because I already had that figure, and at the time I wasn't really as into collecting GI Joe. It happens. We go through periods in our life where we either don't have the money or we're doing other things, and I was working, so that's where I was at with that. Maze Mind, howdy y'all. Good to see you, Maze Mind. Thanks for joining us. I'm not sure what that means, but it's all good, man. Hello, Scat. Scat Syndicate. Berry saying hello. Give me just a second here. I'm having a nose issue today with my asthma. So let me stop my cam. Oh, really? I still got my radio dude up there. I need to put a G.I. Joe up there, don't I? There we go. That'll work. That'll be the G.I. Joe gamer. You guys don't need to see this. It's been, like I said, it's been kind of a rough couple of weeks, and some days I feel better, and some days not. But my medication's kicking back in, so that's helping. Saturday in the park, almost the 4th of July. Yes, sir. Yeah, there's a lot going on this next week, and we're almost into July, which is pretty cool. So, all right. So in the Sunbow cartoon, he first appeared in the original miniseries, Menace and the Mass Device, which they call G.I. Joe: Real American Hero now, but originally that's what they called it. He had a storyline with Flash, Snake Eyes, and Scarlet, where they were in the Arctic trying to get these crystals from Major Blood and a bunch of Cobra troopers. And they got into the mine first, and they used the polar battle bears, and it was really cool. And that was the one where Snow Job was in command of that mission. I thought that was great. And they ended up having Snake Eyes save them from the explosion in the mine that released all the radiation, and they were able to escape while Snake Eyes stayed behind. And it was a real tender moment and a cool moment for Snow Job. However, the cartoon, my favorite Snow Job episode was Haul Down the Heavens, and there was a scene in that where him, Flint, and Lady J went up to the Arctic to find out what Cobra was doing. Cobra was basically had this big device, and they were trying to melt the polar ice caps. It's a ridiculous theory, but it was a fun episode of G.I. Joe in the cosmic scheme of things. And just dropping by to like the stream. We appreciate that, Maze Mind. Thank you very much. You take it easy, bud. Thanks for joining us. It's nice to see you. But no, in the cartoon in Haul Down the Heavens, him and Flint almost got captured, and Flint ordered him to escape. A very similar situation with Outback and Stalker and Snake Eyes and Quick Kick in the comic series. And so Snow Job was trying to get the word back to the Joes what was going on, and he got into a confrontation with a Cobra officer and ended up getting 3 tranquilizer darts stuck in his arm, and they took out the Cobra officer and avoided a polar bear, which kept kept going in and out of the episode. It was really funny, and he wandered through the Arctic there in the snow for hours, and the Baroness said, "Oh, he's gonna die. He's don't worry about him, And he, I think it was one of the Cobra Troopers who said that he's finished, so they didn't bother going after him. And Snowjob ended up passing out because he was filled with tranquilizer darts, and he got some Native Americans, Inuits, came and rescued him, and were able to, with his ramblings, figure out that he needed to radio the Joe team, and so he told them what frequency to use, and so they radioed the Joes, and Ripcord came and rescued Snowjob and gave him the proper antidote, and Snowjob actually almost died, but I think he got the word back to the Joes, and of course the Joes went up with hovercraft and saved the day. It was pretty cool. Wow, Snow goes through a lot. Cool storyline. Yeah, it was. It was a really cool storyline. They had a few with Snowjob in the cartoon. Another one that stands out was in the second season, where again he got captured by Cobra a little bit, but he went in to rescue Iceberg, who had been turned into a killer whale. It was an interesting storyline, but it was more about Iceberg. That episode too. Iceberg goes south. So in a lot of instances, Snowjob got pushed to the side, but there were moments for him to shine. What they did not focus on was the fact that he was a marksman and was an actual sniper. So, it was a cartoon, and the comic, it's like they totally forgot that he was a sniper most of the time, but he was a great shot. And there was a scene in that storyline of the comics, this one here, where they escaped, where there was an opportunity to have Snowjob shine, and Larry Hama opted to have Stalker use a sniper rifle to kill an enemy that had really tortured them while they were in the gulag. And I think that would have been cooler. It was neat that that Stalker did it, but I think it would have been cooler if Stalker would have went to his Joe's skills and handed that rifle to Snowjob and let Snowjob do it, because Snowjob was their marksman at the time, and well, later on they had Lowlight and other marksmen, but in that instance, their sniper was sitting right there, and Larry Hama didn't utilize that. Larry Hama wrote some really cool stories, and I'm just a stickler for Joe specialties and stuff. And I got a different version of the on Joe takes that I showed at the beginning. I got a different version of that. It's just as a file card that I'll play to end out the show today. But got a little bit to talk about before that. And for starters, where I see Snowjob in my Joe verse, he is their Arctic leader. He is their sergeant. He's their platoon sergeant for the Arctic ops team. They are part of the Charlie Company, which would be on the USS Flag, where the flag transports them to wherever they need to be or flies them to wherever they need to be. And they're under the command of Cutter. And above that, of course, you got Admiral Ledger and Admiral Killhall, depending on where you're at with that. I actually see that I use both admirals. I use Admiral Killhall as the commander of the flag, and Admiral Ledger is like their Pentagon liaison. That's the way I see that in my headcanon. I know in the cartoon they had Admiral Ledger in command of the flag and all that, and I think they missed an opportunity to actually show off the really cool figure that Killhall is and was. And in 1991, they actually brought Killhall out again in a new version. I was able to pick him up at that time, but I never was able to get the USS Flag. But Snowjob, he leads the Arctic Ops teams, and you have Iceberg that came out in 86, 88. You had Blizzard, 87. You had Avalanche, and all four of those dudes was in that special missions behind me there, which was really cool that they were able to showcase the Arctic team in a comic book. That's what I loved about the special missions. They were able to focus on just certain fire teams, and that was Snowjob's fire team. He had Iceberg, Blizzard, and Avalanche, and that was the four-man fire team. And he was their squad leader, and that's kind of how I see it. Now later on, they added they added a Joe named let's see, Snowstorm. Very similar. I think they should have just brought Snow Job out again, but they didn't. So they added a new character called Snowstorm, and so they had a new Arctic guy at the time, and they also Stalker came out as a Tundra Ranger in '89. So he was able to go on Arctic missions, but they never utilized that in the comics. They had him walking around in his Arctic gear as a Tundra Ranger, but they never actually had him in the Arctic in the comics. Now, of course, they did have him in one of the cartoons as the Tundra Ranger, but again, not in the Arctic. It's funny. I don't know why they didn't utilize that with the whole Arctic storyline and stuff. But there was another cartoon that Snow Job was in called Operation Mind Menace, where he got to actually take the team out. Let's see, Duke was in command, but Snow Job was leading the Arctic mission. It was kind of cool. So yeah, check the cartoon out. The Sunbow cartoon did a lot of really cool stuff. Larry Hama did some cool stuff in the G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero Marvel run. Yeah, he continued that in the IDW run, and I don't know if he had any Snow Job storylines in that. Not the ones that I read, and I've probably read about half of them from issue 155 and a half up to 300, where they ended it, and now they're in Skybound, which is a branch of Image Comics, and he's continued his run with the issue 301, and now I think they're on 306 or 7 at this point, because it started back in January or even December. But there it is. Snow Job didn't really have a lot to me, as many appearances in the comics. Now there was an Action Force and a GI Joe UK version that may have done some stuff with Snow Job, but I'm not really familiar with that either. In the United States, we didn't get a lot of those. They did try to do a Marvel UK in the '90s and bring some of that over here, but I don't know if it really panned out that well, because they stopped doing it pretty much right away within just a few years. So, but it was nice that they had that exchange with Britain. They had some of their stuff over here and some of America's stuff over there, and so Marvel had a UK division. It was kind of cool. But for me, like I said, Snow Job's my Arctic squad leader. I like the idea of Frostbite being an Arctic squad leader too. So they have actually the two of them, and with the full team, they're the go-to guys. And then in 1990, they actually came out with I'm drawing a blank on his name. There's so many GI Joes, but there was a lieutenant that came out, and he's the officer in charge, and Snow Job is their squad leader. So if I ever I might do a Joe Short take on the lieutenant, because now I'm wanting to remember his name. Oh man, I'm racking my brain right now. Maybe I'll remember before I'm done talking here. But that's my take on Snow Job. I really like the character. I think he's still the best Snow Trooper. He's my favorite of all the Snow Troopers that have come out. Oh man, it's killing me because it's right there. But maybe I'll remember. I'm gonna look it up. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. That's how determined I am right now to find out what that dude's name was. And I'm gonna slap myself really, because man, I know these characters pretty much backwards and forwards most of the time, but some days, man, it's like, where's my head? There was Cold Front, which came with a new vehicle called Avalanche, so that was another Snow Trooper, but I never had him. It was Sub-Zero, that's right. He had the same name as the Mortal Kombat character. So they had Lieutenant Sub-Zero, and that was kind of cool. Hello, Coco B. Living in a city where winter is part of its nickname, Snow Job was a fave. Yeah, for me too. In my games, as a young guy, I had Snow Job rocking those Arctic missions and in command, because that was his specialty. That's what they had him. That's what they hired him to do, and that's what he did. Now, I think they missed a lot of opportunities with Snow Job. and a lot of the other Arctic troopers as well. But Snow Job for me is the go-to dude for Arctic Ops, and he's my squad leader for the Arctic Ops team, and Sub-Zero is his lieutenant, which is kind of cool. I like that officer, the NCO, non-commissioned officer dynamic between a lieutenant and a sergeant, and I'm glad they actually finally got that all into the G.I. Joe storyline, because I use that. So again, that's my take on Snow Job. What we got coming up, like I said, I'm going to play that file card at the end of the episode. It's different from the Joe Takes I played at the beginning. In July, which for G.I. Joe stuff that I've got coming up on our channel, I have been invited to participate in Cobra Convergence, which you saw a little bit in that All Joe Takes at the beginning. If you watched it, if not, it's not in the file card. It's just all about Snow Job, which is what I wanted to showcase. But I'm on the calendar for July 27th, and unfortunately that fell right where I'm going to be on vacation. That couple of weeks right there, and I will not be home. But I will be filming that episode of Joe Takes episode 50. It's going to be a big episode, and I will premiere it on July 27th at noon, just like I do my regular Joe Takes when I have them now. And I'm thinking about switching Joe Takes back to midnight, but that's really hard when I do my Friday show. So I do enjoy just kicking back here on a Saturday and chatting with you about G.I. Joe stuff. But it's Cobra Convergence next month, and my goal, and I've already got a bunch of them made, and I want to make some more, is to have a file card like music video come out every day in July and August. In July, it's for Cobra Convergence, so they'll all be Cobras. And in G.I. Joe, I'm going to do the same. In August, I'm going to do the same thing for G.I. Joe, and have a file card. I'm going to try. We're talking 60 plus file cards. So, because I'm going to have a file card on July 27th for the Crimson Guard, of course, because that's who we're focusing on. But I'm also going to be doing a little tribute. Sydney Cat saying hello. I'm going to be doing a little tribute to Huda Cobra Commander 788, who has done a lot of G.I. Joe reviews for the past decade on YouTube, and he has retired this year. And so he's the founder of Cobra Convergence. And I don't know what the future of Cobra Convergence is, but I am looking forward to participating in this one, because it could be the last one. I'm not sure. I hope it isn't. But without Huda Cobra Commander, they did the 1 year he didn't want to do it. It didn't happen, and so he came back, and so they missed a year. So he did it almost the entire time he was doing his bit on YouTube. And if you are a G.I. Joe fan, there's a link in the description to HCC788. Please check out his channel. He does a lot of really cool reviews for G.I. Joe figures from just the modern line, though. He did a few classified Fridays is what he called them. It was kind of cool, but he never really got into the classified series as much. Coco B says, howdy all, with that orange beard, Snow Job wouldn't have the same impact. Smart image design. Yes, I agree. A lot of people say, well, he stands out. No, not really. He frosts that beard up, and he can blend in really well in the Arctic. And head down, sniper rifle in his head. Yeah. But yes, I love the contrast, and I totally agree. Red beard and the black goggles. This was just a badass figure, and it was second year of G.I. Joe. It was really cool. And the classified figure is a nice update. Now, like I said, it has the alternate head where you can see Snow Job's face and everything, and swap the goggles out, but I viewed it like that. Classified figures are nice, but sometimes they're hard to interchange. Well, not hard, but for me, my hands aren't what they used to be. So there it is in a nutshell. So, so that's what like I said, in July, in August, I'm doing Cobra Convergence in July, and my day on the calendar, which I'm pretty sure there is a link in the description to, it's just hcc788.com. Check it out. They have a full calendar of all the YouTube content creators that are participating. They are going to be putting out something every day without fail. There are content creators putting stuff out. And one way or the other, like I said, I'm going to try to put a file card out every day. So I'm hoping that is my big contribution to Cobra Convergence 7. And then last year I did something called G.I. Joe Gold Bricks, and I'm going to kind of continue that into August. And I'm going to have a bunch of G.I. Joe file cards too. Hopefully one a day, but that's a lot of work. So I'm gonna get into it. Like I said, I have some made already, so got some of that ready to go. So I've already started on it. So on that note, and with that all being said, Logan out. Here's Snowjob's file card, and I will see you all later. Yo, Joe. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all have a good Saturday, and I'll see you on Spine Ticks tonight.
Yo, Joe! Code name! Snowjob, Arctic Survival Specialist. Full name! Hardcore Grade! E7 Sergeant First Class U.S. Army. Birthplace, Rockland, Vermont. Primary specialty, Arctic Ski Patrol. Secondary specialty, rifle instructor. Qualified expert. All NATO long-range sniper rifles. XML or 3A laser rifle. Preferred weapon, any sniper rifle. Let's go! Combat gear, stage, full team survival pack. Snowjob was the first Arctic soldier to join the G.I. Joe team. His talents were needed when the battle against Cobra took to the cold climate and snow-covered mountains. He doesn't particularly enjoy the cold, but thrives on what he can do with it. He's an expert marksman, qualified on all NATO long-range rifles and laser targeting systems. Snowjob was a major contender for the Olympic biathlon before his enlistment. He can still ski down steep mountains and pick off a target 1,000 yards away, making it back to base before the end of a poker game. His reputation precedes him not only as a skilled target shooter, but as a major con artist. Snowjob scams are legendary within the barracks, and no one will dare take a bet from him. His teammates steer clear of him around payday. When the G.I. Joe program reorganized, Snowjob returned as a member of the Arctic unit. He won more card games than anyone cares to remember, and he never misses a shot. You can bet on him to be the winner. Personal motto, never bet against me. Yeah! From General Hawk's files, he is a highly qualified individual. The definite choice picked for the team. His talents with the rifle are as legendary as are his all-night card games. Snowjob is for the Arctic experts that really doesn't like the cold. Very strange since he performs best in that environment. If we miss him, we figure he is in one of two places: out target shooting or out spending the pay. He won off the last poker game. He played trust him on the battlefield, but never take him up on any sure bets. Submitted by Lieutenant Gunner. I trust him to run my Arctic ops, but I'd never let him do my taxes. Submitted by Rock and Roll. You think we call him Snowjob because he does his job on skis? Negative, he's a con artist. Pure and simple, except when he picks up his rifle. Sure as heck, something's gonna fall down.
honest, pure and simple.